Greetings to all my self-made executives and entrepreneurs. Welcome to Curious Conversation, a live talk show where we bring entrepreneurs together to learn from each other's experiences and ideas to grow and thrive. I'm your host, Adrienne Johnson, the Lady Executive. Each week, we interview entrepreneurs to understand the steps they took to be successful and why. We also invite a live audience to join and ask questions as well. So be sure to get your questions in the chat panel. My guest today is Mark McIntosh. Mark is a CPA and started his career in accounting, reaching what he thought would be the pinnacle of his career as a middle market CFO when he was 32. After getting his MBA, he switched gears completely and got into sales and recruiting. During this period, he became the director with a large staffing firm and then with a national CPA and consulting firm. In 2016, Mark launched RevGrow, a business-to-business lead generation and sales activation firm, which helps businesses attract more ideal prospects and keep their sales pipeline consistently full. Mark's not all business, however. When not helping businesses grow their revenue, he likes to hunt, travel, and spend time with his wife and 3 college and high school age kids. Mark was raised on a farm in Paris, Illinois, and currently lives in Dallas-Fort Worth in Lantana, Texas. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Mark McIntosh to the show. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Adrienne? Thank you so much for inviting me on your show.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to have you. Lead generation is something that's really important to businesses, and I've just felt like you were an ideal individual to come on and chat about it. So let's start with me asking you my first question, which is, how did you come up with RevGrow? What was your journey to get there?
I always had a dream of owning my own business and never really had anything where I felt passionate about, that I was good at, that people were willing to pay for. And so once I made the journey and shifted gears from being a CFO and got into sales and recruiting, I developed a methodology primarily leveraging LinkedIn in order to open up doors and gain access to C-level folks who I was calling on as a sales professional. And at that point, when I was talking to people, that one of the biggest challenges they always had was, how do I get in front of more of these ideal target prospects?
Right.
And how do I stand out from the crowd? And should I email? Should I call? How should I leverage LinkedIn? So did a lot of training, a lot of self-education, and got really good at taking a completely cold prospect and getting an appointment with that person using a very systematic and non-salesy approach. And that's what triggered the idea of going out on my own and offering this as a service to other executives, sales folks, and consultants that were trying to do the same. And that's gain access into those hard to reach C-level prospects.
Right. Wow, that beginning sounds much like mine. I racked my brain for many a years trying to figure out what that special gift was of mine as well that I could utilize, because I always had the dream of owning my own business. So I understand the spark and the passion behind that. What exactly does RevGrow do for your clients?
Yeah, we are an outsourced lead generation and marketing agency. And we utilize primarily LinkedIn, content marketing, as well as email and other omni-channel approaches, even including phone call capabilities. But our main sweet spot is LinkedIn and content marketing. Our clients, typically small businesses, they're not quite big enough to have a full-time internal resources such as business development team, sales folks, and marketing. So what they'll do is they'll outsource those activities to my agency, and we can show them how to do it, but they won't do it consistently. So they're better off to outsource that to us,
Hmm.
and then our clients can focus on what they do best in running their business and focused on more strategic matters. So what we do is we start with their LinkedIn profile,
Okay.
we optimize it and make their profile more client facing, more of a resource, less of a resume, and really help them stand out from the crowd. So that's really foundational to everything we do for our clients, is getting their profile positioned properly in order to stand out from the crowd. And then what we do is we use a very targeted, more of a rifle approach versus a shotgun approach to really narrow in on their most ideal target prospect or client avatar. And we'll leverage an account-based marketing approach, identify 3 to 4 people within each of those targets, and send a non-salesy, very personalized connection request, and then follow up with a couple value add messages. Again, no sales pitch. We're not connecting and pitching, really just trying to build up that know, like, and trust. And then after about the third or fourth message, we'll simply ask for the call. And
Good.
a call not to pitch them necessarily on our client's services or products, but to open the door to have a conversation. And we integrate content into the messaging. And because of the way we position our clients and then leverage content marketing, the chances of them saying yes to an appointment
Hmm.
are much higher than if we do what everyone else is doing out there, which is the connect and pitch, which clearly doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I get so many messages via LinkedIn with someone trying to pitch me. And it really exploded after the pandemic and the shutdown, right? Because people didn't have that opportunity to do face to face and really get in front of their clients or prospective clients anymore. And my messages blew up, and it was overwhelming from how many people wanted to pitch me and they didn't even know what my needs were, right? And is that something that you guys do research on when working with other entrepreneurs to understand what their clients' need will be before reaching out to them?
Yes. Yeah. What we do is we craft customized messages that are tailored to our clients' target audience. And it starts with the positioning of their profile. So
Okay.
really making it all about the target prospect and what's in it for them,
Okay.
and let the profile speak to itself, and really what pain do they solve for their clients, and then what's in it for their clients or their prospects to engage and take that next step, whether it's a phone call, maybe it's review a piece of content,
Okay.
or take that next step. And then the messaging is all customized. So we customize the messages for existing connections who fit their target criteria, as well as new connections. Those people that don't know them from Adam. And really, it's our messaging. We focus on a couple things. One, keep it brief. It's not like as long as a typical email or as short as a text message either, but somewhere in the middle. And again, we leave the sales pitch out of there, and, really just focused on piquing their interest, engaging with them with some dialogue and conversation, and then at the appropriate time, simply asking for the call, because that's where the magic happens when you take
Right.
it offline. And what we're seeing is, anywhere from about a 10 to 20% conversion. In other words, of those that accept the invite,
Hmm.
10 to 20% on average will ultimately agree to get on the phone with our clients. So it's
That's
not
pretty high.
100%
Yeah.
by any means, but it's a lot better than the cold call or the
Right.
cold email. Obviously, if somebody refers you in or they're they're seeking out your solution,
Mm-hmm.
then the conversions are much higher.
Right.
But yeah, if we're as long as we're targeting the right buyers and targeting and using the right positioning and really speaking to what our clients do for their clients,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then the combination of the positioning and the targeting and the right message and the right cadence, the results is very good.
That's
So,
cool. That's very awesome. Very awesome. So there's so many different aspects to LinkedIn. If an entrepreneur comes to you to talk to you about, lead generation and utilizing LinkedIn, what are all of the aspects of LinkedIn do you focus on? Their profile, their company pages, groups? Like, what exactly does that service entail?
yep, we always start with the personal's profile
Okay.
and make sure that's fully optimized and complete. And then we also update and optimize the company page. And company page is great for posting content.
Hmm.
All the messaging needs to be done through the individual's profile. So you got the profile, you got the company page, and then we craft a message and messaging that will appeal to their audience. Again, very non salesy, custom to their target and in their voice, which is important. We don't use one size fits all cookie cutter approach, templates, anything like that.
Okay.
And then a big part of what we do is content marketing. So messaging alone used to work very well. Now, what we found is messaging plus an effective content marketing strategy is really necessary to not only stand out from the crowd, but also to pique the interest of the person that you're trying to engage with. So, we do content like we do help with videos, blogs, polls are really effective these days,
Hmm.
all sorts of event marketing. And the key with content is making sure that it's not a thinly veiled sales pitch, that it's more focused on adding value
Mm.
and leading your audience to you and to your solution versus a thinly veiled sales pitch that we call content. So, now, having a good piece of content's important, but knowing how to place that content and do it in a manner on the platform to where it's most likely to capture the attention of your target buyer, that's an art and a science, and that's something that we continually are looking to optimize and have gotten really good at leveraging the various types of content in order to get it in front of the right people. And content's also, as you know, very effective from a top of mind perspective.
Hmm.
And a lot of buyers, they'll do their homework, obviously,
Uh,
before they have a call, and they're out there looking on your LinkedIn page.
Informed
They'll go
buyer.
out to your web, inform buyer.
Hmm.
And so having a good, solid content marketing strategy is paramount. And then part of our secret sauce is the internal system and the way that we manage all of this on behalf of our clients to optimize the results. So like we always say, we can teach people how to do it, but they just won't do it. And they won't do it consistently because they're focused on more strategic matters like
Right.
running their business.
Right, right. Okay. So you said something that really piqued my interest. So you said there's messaging, which you do on the personal profile, and there's content, which is more situated for company pages. So let's go back to the messaging on the personal profile. So, are you considering messaging posts, or are you speaking of direct messages to specific individuals?
Yep. Direct messages to specific individuals,
Okay.
those targets that meet your ideal client
Okay.
avatar,
Okay.
your ideal customer, and then the content for our clients, and everybody does it a little bit differently, but we like to post content through the personal page 3 to 4 times a week on
Okay.
average.
Okay.
And then to the company page, it might be a little bit less frequent.
Okay.
The company page in general will typically have less followers,
Mm-hmm.
and we tend to reserve that for more of the original content of the client, and also client or content that is very much more directly aligned with the client's service or product that they're offering.
Okay.
Whereas on the personal page, some of the content is more complementary type services and solutions. Maybe we'll do some third party content that's relevant and it's aligned with our client's service or product, but it's not necessarily the company content, which original content. And so the company page, the way we do the content, the strategy, and the types of content that we're posting there is a little bit different than what we're doing through the company page. And most of our clients, their company page following is less than their personal page. And so we develop a playbook that makes sense, again, doing both, but we do it based on what the client's audience, how they're reacting and engaging with content. Plus, it depends on the client's goals and what they're looking to do with their content. But content marketing is a huge piece of what we're doing for our clients. And we can create the content for
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our clients, they have all the content they would ever need. They just need help marketing that content and
I
getting it
see.
in front of the right people at the right time. And that's what we do. That's our expertise.
Nice, nice. Um, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that only have personal profiles. So, would you recommend they create a company page for their business?
Yeah, yeah, certainly, especially once you get over beyond that solopreneur,
Uh huh.
and there's multiple people on your team, absolutely. And it's great for search results. It just makes a solopreneur or a small shop look bigger. And again, the purpose of the company page and the personal page are very different.
Right, right.
So it different audiences will see different posts based on the LinkedIn algorithm. So we recommend both.
Okay, okay. Would you also recommend, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there who aren't really on LinkedIn, right? They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, but they're not really on LinkedIn. Is there a specific type of business that you would recommend to be on LinkedIn, or you think everybody that owns a business should be there?
Great question. The first thing I think of is where is their audience, and if their audience, their target clients, customers, prospects, or even referral partners. If they're on LinkedIn, then we recommend having a LinkedIn presence. The vast majority of our clients, almost exclusively, are selling business to business.
Right.
And from a business to business perspective, the LinkedIn platform is far superior than the other platforms out there. Even if someone's selling to consumers
Uh huh.
and perhaps they're working in a specific zip code or a specific region, I definitely recommend at least having some presence out on LinkedIn. And again, if whether it's referral partners, maybe it's vendors, maybe from a recruiting perspective, um, it's kind of, if I'm doing research for a particular, unless it's an oil change shop or something like that. I mean, if I'm looking to do business with somebody, I expect them to have a presence on all of those platforms.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right.
And especially if they're selling business to business,
Right.
B2B. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Well, let's shift a little bit and talk about LinkedIn groups. I know I'm a member of a few of the groups that are out there on LinkedIn. What is your thought about LinkedIn groups and participation? Do you feel that that would aid in lead generation?
It does. Yeah, it absolutely does. And just to have that commonality with others that you would like to engage with or have a conversation with and say, "Hey, we're both part of this, DFW or this Chicago group, or maybe it's an industry specific group, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can reference not only the common membership, but maybe it's a piece of content. Maybe it's a post that they shared. So definitely, LinkedIn groups aren't quite as popular as they used to be,
Mm-hmm.
but they're definitely still a factor. And it's also a great way to give back and to provide insights and share your expertise and knowledge, with others that are like minded and interested in the focus of the group, and do it in a very go giving, value add approach as opposed to being a sales, the typical salesperson
Sure.
that's out there just, you know, trying to
Right.
connect and pitch and things like that.
Right.
But the whole goal with that is to, if we're setting up a group for our clients, we like to make the group all about their target audience.
Hmm.
So what's less about what we do, but or more about who they're targeting and their target audience and things like they care about. So if they're targeting middle market CFOs, we might help them create a group that's targeted and caters to those topics and types of discussion that are most relevant to these middle market CFOs. So,
Okay.
the goal is to take it offline. And, we have one client, they have a Dallas area focused technology group and caters to the CIOs. And so all the content that we post on their behalf is relevant to the CIOs, but every month they take it offline and they do a monthly happy hour or a
Hmm.
monthly lunch and learn or something like that. So if the group is geo focused, then having those in-person events can be very effective. So it yeah, LinkedIn groups again, they're not quite as effective as Facebook groups are, but they still
Okay.
are relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I think that's really creative. Um the using your reach, right, in a geographic area to then take it offline to a face-to-face event, like a lunch and learn. I had never even thought about that, but that's really creative. Um, So, what are some for the audience that's out there, right? I know everybody wants to know what they can do to improve their LinkedIn profile. So, can you share maybe two or three tips for the audience as to what they can do right now, today, to improve their LinkedIn profile and increase their reach in regards to their specific audience or avatar, to your point.
Yeah, we always start with the above the fold stuff, the picture, the headline, the banner, the background. One thing you can do is create a very client facing headline or tagline. Share who you help, how you help, and then what makes you credible. So you might say, I help small businesses grow their revenue using a 7-step process on LinkedIn, and you're the author of XYZ book, or
Okay.
just something that is all about who you help, how you help them, and why you're credible. So start with the headline. The the banner, obviously you want it to look clean, professional. The picture, I mean, anymore I'm pretty hesitant to accept an invite from someone if they don't have a picture. Now LinkedIn, they have where you can do a personalized video or a personalized audio message. So I would start there with the above fold, and then the about section
Hmm.
or the summary is a great place. I think they allow up to 2,000 characters to really craft a compelling, client centric story, if you will, that really highlights your solution, how you help your clients with their pain or achieve their goal, and put some so share some insights in there. Don't you want to be a resource and not just a sales pitch?
Right.
So maybe provide some tips. Definitely, you'll want a call to action at the bottom of that. So make it really easy for people who want to talk with you to either schedule a call or give you a call or send you an email. I mean, one of the most common mistakes we see, and it just doesn't make sense why you would exclude how to get a hold of you. So if somebody
Right.
wants to hire you or at least have a conversation, we like to keep it, make it simple for them, reduce that friction, if you will, to get a hold of you. And then content. I mean, obviously, the more value add content that might help further position you and pique the interest of your prospect, attach that right to your profile. And things like that are really effective. So that's probably, the 4 or 5 areas I would focus on first. And then there's other areas like skills, which are great for findability and keyword search. And then reference or recommendations. I definitely recommend that you have at least 5 fairly recent and targeted recommendations, if you will. So that's probably, from the profile perspective, those would be a good place to start.
As you're going through that, I was thinking about my profile and thinking, what do I need to fix and what what do I need to kind of revamp a little bit. I know when I first set up my profile, it was before I had a business, right? It was more about me marketing myself as an employee, right? Trying to find business opportunities in regards to my career.
Hmm.
And I probably need to go back and revamp that a little bit, seeing that things have changed, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have a profile a profile who's, it's set up for a different purpose. And it just sparked in my mind that you need to make sure that you take a look at your profile from time to time and make sure that it's still relevant, right?
Yeah,
Because mine right now is
absolutely.
is not relevant to my ongoing goals. So thank you for
Yep.
that. That was so helpful. I know in my normal 9 to 5 also, I'm always talking to other. I am a trainer for sales reps, And I talked to them about how important it is for them to have a LinkedIn profile and to make sure that their picture isn't them with their dog or them with,
Yeah,
right, or them
no
doing
doubt.
something crazy on a weekend. It's a professional platform, unlike Facebook or Instagram, so to speak. So
Yep.
that those were a couple of things that rang true for me. And I totally had no idea about the audio or the video that they've given you a little platform to speak to people so that they can hear you. So I'm
Yep.
definitely going to have to go and check that out as well and see how I could utilize that for my benefit. And I'm sure there's probably people that are listening that weren't aware of that either. So thank you for those fantastic tips.
Yeah, no problem. And the profile, the whole, it's just getting harder and harder to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah,
So when somebody you reach out to, when they visit your profile, you want it to be obviously clear as to who you work with, how you help them achieve their goals or solve their pain, and then a real clear, clean call to action. And if you do that, and the headline is good and really resonates with your target audience, you'll be leap years ahead of your competition and others out there. So it's all about, within 20 seconds, being able to capture their attention and get them to take that next step with you, whether it's to accept your invite, schedule a call, or whatever. And the other thing would be is to make sure that everything looks good on the mobile. I mean, majority of people are checking LinkedIn from their mobile device. So sometimes with the banner and such, it'll look great on your laptop, but when you look at your cell phone, the formatting's a little off. So
excellent point. Excellent.
yeah, that would be the other thing. And then always, always, always personalize the invite, and don't use the canned LinkedIn. And it just shows that you've at least taken the time to research a little bit about them and give them a reason why it would make sense to connect with you. But that kind of goes into messaging a little bit, but I thought I would just mention that. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. All right. So, lastly, how exactly do you work with your clients? Do you do it on a group basis? Do you do it on a one-on-one basis? What would how would what would be most impactful for them?
yeah, we work with clients on a one-on-one basis. The best thing to do is we offer a free consultation and assessment, one to share some tips and talk about strategy and just explore to see if our solution would be a good fit for what they're looking to do. And typically in a 30-minute conversation, it's pretty clear by the end of that call whether we can help them, whether it makes sense to work together. And we work one on one. We don't do any group things. We're not in the training business, although we can train. Our
Okay.
core competency is really running campaigns and the done for you aspects for our clients. And but it all starts with a conversation,
Sure.
learning about their business, learning about their value prop, learning about what makes them unique from the competition,
Okay.
talking about LinkedIn strategies, who is their target market. And a lot of them will come to us and they say, hey, we can help everyone. Well, let's look at your last 10 clients, see if there's some similarities there we can leverage, and then just to make sure that we're fishing in the right ponds. And so again, like I had mentioned earlier, we like more of a rifle approach. So during that initial consultation, we really like to get crystal clear on the positioning and the targeting, and talk about their sales cycle and um, just learn as much as we can about them. And then if their clients are on LinkedIn
Hmm.
and what they offer is not overly commoditized and, you know, our clients are really good at what they do, and they literally just need more at bats with their target prospects. And once they get in front of the prospects, they're really good at presenting their solution, their products, especially if there's an immediate need and interest. So we'll talk through all that on initial assessment, and then at the end of that call, we'll be able to say, okay, does it make sense to move forward? And we have a variety of customized service levels based on
Okay.
their goals, based
Uh-huh.
on their budget, based on the extent of their target market, and how much content they have already versus whether we need to help create content. So, but we can figure all of that out in that 30-minute assessment or
Okay.
consultation.
Awesome. Awesome. That sounds like very, how would you say it? Thought out process for, those entrepreneurs who are past just being an individual, so that they can continue to grow. This is like their next step in scaling, right? Scaling their business so that they can achieve more of their goals and profits. So awesome. Thank you, Mark, so much for that. Real quick, I want to remind the audience, if you have any questions for Mark in regards to LinkedIn or LinkedIn lead generation with RevGrow, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat panel. I see that we have a couple already. But before we get to that point, before I check those questions, Mark, is there anything else that you would like to add that I did not ask you, but you want to make sure that the audience is aware of? Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think, just whether we help you, whether you do it on your own, whether you hire somebody to help you, just having a consistent presence on LinkedIn and start small. I mean, set some goals. Say maybe I'll reach out and connect with 25 people a week,
Mm,
or maybe I want to post content. Start with twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, and get into the game. Obviously, if you have all the business you'd ever want or need through inbound leads and referrals, word of mouth, that's awesome. Now, majority of us aren't to that point yet. So just having some sort of a system and doing some outreach, yeah, like I said, even if it's 25 a week. And then, so that's number one. Number two would be look at your existing network. A lot of our clients, and we'll start the first month or two doing what we call a re engagement campaign.
mm,
And it's basically looking at their existing network and seeing if there's some fruitful relationships there or some contacts there, referral partners or prospects that you've been connected to for a while, but you just haven't talked to them.
sure.
And so that's some low hanging fruit. So we always recommend looking at your existing network. And those are the easier conversations typically to
Hmm.
get scheduled because at least there's some familiarity and there's one less step of sending that connection request. So, and then the other thing would be is to either spend some time to spruce up your profile
Hmm.
or hire somebody to help you create or optimize and a client facing customer centric profile that again just helps clearly articulate who you work with, how you help them, and most importantly, what's in it for them
Hmm.
to take that next step.
Right.
And it, if it, so, if you can do that, And obviously, we could help you with that. But even if you don't hire somebody, um, those are some basic foundational things that you can do right away to get into this LinkedIn game.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. I know, social media can be so overwhelming. And to your point about, just doing at least 25 individuals a week, you need to have a plan. That's what I'm taking from all of this, right? You need to have a plan, you need to have a strategy when executing. And if for the people that are out there in the audience, if you have multiple platforms, you might want to have a specific day for each platform, right? Like to kind of look at it and revamp it. I know that like I said, I'm gonna need to do that to my LinkedIn. So I might block out, just some time just to focus in on my LinkedIn platform and get that revamped. So those were some really great tips. Thank you, Mark.
You bet. You bet.
All right, so let's go to some questions that we got in from the chat panel. The first one is there a particular time of day? I hear this all the time for all the social media platforms. Is there a particular time of day where your post, your content, your messaging works better than others?
Yeah, the LinkedIn algorithm changes. It's very iterative. It used to be, and it still is, I'd say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the morning, midday, those tend to be the most active times. But we've also recently noticed that a lot of our campaigns, our messages, we'll do it on Sunday. And for whatever reason, the conversions on those weekend activities and the engagement on the weekend activities is still very high. So, it's a little bit all over the board, but I would say content Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, morning, mid morning is ideal. The messaging, I try to think about when your target audience is likely to be checking LinkedIn and if you can figure that out, you're a genius. But it's funny, even over the holidays. I mean, people will be sitting around Thanksgiving or um, like I said,
Yeah,
on the weekends, and they'll see a message, and you'll, so sometimes just if they're out of the office, they're unplugged a little bit, you know, it's, so we see engagement at a variety of times, and so there's no real clear cut answer there. I mean, I'd probably stay away from Friday and Saturday nights, things like that. But
sure.
Monday morning, I mean, Monday morning's a little rough for everyone.
Everyone.
And yeah, exactly. Friday afternoons, I mean, people are typically done with work and just want to enjoy their weekend.
Right.
So,
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. My question to you, have you noticed that because of the pandemic that social media use has increased?
yep, yep, absolutely. The trade shows have slowed way down, obviously.
Right,
The face to face networking, the in person meetings, and, between social media, LinkedIn in particular, a great way to connect with potential referral partners and prospects. And then how convenient to be able to take it offline instead of driving 40 minutes to have a coffee. You can now just hop on a Zoom call.
right,
And so, yeah, it's I mean, I hate to say that the pandemic's been good for our business because it was rough there for the first few months,
right.
but the last year or so, we've been extremely busy, and the results we're getting for our clients are as good as they've ever been. So
Awesome.
it's definitely a, great way to get in front of those prospects.
Sure, sure. Okay, all right. Got another question here. I was told that it is important to join in conversations from other people's posts in order to gain views on my post. How factual is that?
Yeah, LinkedIn algorithm. I mean, it's definitely looking at your engagement on posts, your engagement on the platform. So that all plays in to what they call the social selling index,
Okay.
and engagement and being active on the platform is a big part of that. And we're not sure exactly how the LinkedIn algorithm works, but that is a true statement that the more engaged you are, the more the more you use the platform in a manner it was intended to help others, provide insights, and engage just as you would a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the better your views are, the more likely you'll show up in searches, and the more likely that your activity, your engagement will be in your audience's feed when they pull it up and look through their LinkedIn feed. So, absolutely,
Okay.
your engagement is a big part of that.
Okay. All right. And I think you kind of just answered the last question that came in, which was, do you teach how to maximize the reach of the LinkedIn algorithm?
We we, we teach it to our clients, although we don't train people on that. But part of our program that we're doing for clients, we monitor everything. So from views, whether it's profile views or company page followers or conversions, connections sent to connections accepted, or call to action, request for appointment to those that actually agree to an appointment, and variety of metrics that we're always looking to optimize and refine and just improve little by little over time. So that's a big part of it. When clients work with us, they we do show them exactly what we do and how we optimize these key metrics.
Okay.
But it really isn't anything that we teach or we train
Okay.
unless somebody would hire us.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, it looks like that was the last comment that came in. I don't have anything else coming in right now. So I just want to thank you so much for the information that you've shared with us, Mark. For everybody that's out there, if this is something that interests you, you need to increase your revenue for your organization, and you really want to hone in on LinkedIn. Take a look at Mark's website. It is RevGrow.com, but the most important thing is for you to schedule a call with Mark. And you can do that at scheduleacallwithmark.com. Also, you can follow Mark on his Twitter page at Mark S. McIntosh, as well as on his LinkedIn page. So if you want an example, a good example, right, Mark? Take a look at your page, and he is at Mark McIntosh. So all of the links and everything that we've talked about and the website from our discussion will be in the description of the recording. So be sure to check that out. Also, there'll be a link there for Mark's newsletter and my newsletter, the Executive Memo, where we keep our audiences up to date on events to help them grow and give them tips and things of that nature for your business. Mark, I have had a wonderful time having
Thank
this
you so much,
conversation with you.
Adrian.
I
And
learned a lot. Like I said, I'm already thinking what action items I need to take next in order to maximize my profile. So I really do appreciate our time together.
yeah, likewise, this has been great. And
Take care.
all right, you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Our show today, just want to let you know, was powered by Ecamm Live. If you'd like more information regarding Ecamm Live, be sure to check the information in the description. On our next episode of Curious Conversations, we're going to get an understanding of the steps necessary to transition from your full-time 9-to-5 gig to a full-time entrepreneurship. So you don't want to miss this at all. Also, a recording of this show is available on YouTube on the Lady Executive channel. Make sure that you head over there, like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when an episode is available. In addition, make sure that you also head over to the Executive Lounge Facebook group where you get early access to these live tapings of the show, and you have the ability to participate in our live studio audience. So with that being said, as always, I want to leave you with a parting thought. Remember, experience is the master teacher, even when the experience isn't your own. Until next time, bye-bye now.